Welcome to Spelling Bee Ninja, where we explore the world of knowledge through fun and engaging lessons. Subscribe now for free educational content designed to empower young minds like yours, and join our community of curious learners. In today's episode, we're diving into the fascinating realm of graphs and charts, discovering how they help us make sense of data visually. Get ready to unlock the secrets of reading graphs and understanding data patterns. Graphs transform numbers into visual information, helping us interpret data more easily. You might have noticed graphs in your favorite news articles, school reports, or even during science experiments. So, what exactly is data visualization? It's the graphical representation of information that uses visual elements like charts, graphs, and maps. Imagine looking at rows of numbers and trying to understand them, quite a challenge, right? With data visualization, we can observe patterns and relationships at a glance. This makes it a powerful tool across various fields, such as business, science, journalism, and education. In fact, a fun historical tidbit is that the first known data visualization was created in 1626, showing the plague deaths in London using bar-like symbols. Amazing, isn't it? Now, let's explore specific types of graphs you might encounter. First up, we have the bar graph. A bar graph uses rectangular bars to compare data across different categories. The height or length of each bar reflects the value it represents. Bar graphs are excellent for comparing categorical data. For instance, they can help us compare sales figures across different products or test scores by class. Interestingly, bar graphs have been around for centuries, dating back to the 14th century when they were used to compare religious populations. Next, we have the pie chart, a circular graph divided into slices. Each slice represents a proportion of the total, making it easy to visualize parts of a whole. For example, if you wanted to show how a budget is allocated, a pie chart would effectively illustrate those proportions, especially when there are fewer than 7 categories. Did you know that the first pie chart was created by the Scottish engineer William Playfair in 1801? Its design has stood the test of time. Now, let's talk about line graphs. These graphs connect points with lines to exhibit data changes over time. They are perfect for visualizing trends and patterns, such as tracking stock prices or temperature changes. The x-axis usually represents time while the y-axis shows the measured value. Florence Nightingale famously used line graphs during the Crimean War to highlight soldiers' mortality rates, leading to better hospital sanitation. Another important type of graph is the histogram. It's a bar-like representation that shows the frequency distribution of continuous numerical data like test scores or age ranges. The key difference from bar graphs is that histograms don't have spaces between the bars because they represent continuous data. Histograms help us understand the shape of data distributions, whether they are symmetric, skewed, or have peaks. The French statistician André-Michel Curie introduced histograms in the 1830s. Now, onto scatter plots, a fantastic way to examine the relationship between two different variables. In scatter plots, dots represent values of the variables, with one on the x-axis and the other on the y-axis. They help us identify correlations, showing whether two variables are positively or negatively related or if there's no relationship at all. The first use of scatter plots dates back to the 1800s when researchers examined the correlation between height and weight in humans. As you can see, each type of graph serves a unique purpose based on the data it represents. But what about the importance of labels and scales on graphs? Labels clarify what each axis represents, like time in months or sales in dollars. Scales determine how values are plotted, so picking the right one is crucial. A misleading scale can distort data and provide false impressions. Proper labeling makes graphs accessible and accurate. In 2023, a misleading graph about climate change went viral on social media, showcasing just how essential accurate labels are for effective communication. Choosing the right graph depends on the data you want to visualize. Use bar graphs when comparing categories, pie charts for proportions, line graphs for trends, histograms for frequency distributions, and scatter plots for relationships. Consider your audience and the story you aim to convey. The right visualization can make your data clear and engaging. A fascinating example is Anscombe's quartet, which presents 4 data sets with nearly identical statistics but vastly different graphs, driving home the importance of visual representation. Graphs and charts are ubiquitous in everyday life. They appear in business to track sales, in journalism to simplify complex topics, in science to present research findings, and in healthcare to monitor patient outcomes. Even in sports, coaches analyze graphs to evaluate player performance. In fact, in 2024, the New York Times was reported to use over 100 visualizations weekly to enhance understanding of the news. Lastly, mastering the ability to read graphs and charts is an invaluable skill. In a world flooded with data, being able to interpret graphs can empower you to make informed decisions. They pop up everywhere, from news articles to scientific papers and government reports. Knowing how to read these visual aids enables you to grasp complex issues and avoid falling for misleading information. Studies show that students who learn to read graphs early often perform better in science, math, and even reading comprehension. This critical skill of data literacy, including reading graphs, is more important now than ever in the 21st century. Understanding how to interpret data visually will serve you well in both school and the wider world. So, as we wrap up today's lesson, remember that graphs are not just numbers, they are stories waiting to be understood and communicated clearly. Today, we explored the fascinating world of graphs and charts, discovering their significance in visualizing data. We discussed various types of graphs: bar graphs for comparing categories, pie charts for showing proportions, line graphs for tracking trends, histograms for displaying frequency distributions, and scatter plots for examining relationships. We also highlighted the importance of proper labels and scales, which help convey information accurately. By mastering these skills, you're not just learning math but equipping yourself with essential tools to navigate a data-rich world successfully. Remember, each graph has a story to tell. Thank you for joining us today on this enlightening journey through the world of graphs and data visualization. We hope you found this episode informative and inspiring. Don't forget to subscribe to Spelling Bee Ninja for more engaging lessons like this one. Together, let's continue learning and exploring the wonders of knowledge. Until next time, keep questioning and discovering.